Click for Manners.
Hi, this is Tammy Hamilton, primary trainer at Click for Manners, and we are teaching today. Our teaching instruction today is all about methods of training, like the two methods of training that we use primarily, which are capturing and shaping. We've already talked about the use of the clicker and why we use the clicker. We talked about the communication, training as communication, not just training. What we actually do is communicate to our dogs what we need. But in order to help us understand that the behaviors that we like from the dog, or how we're going to attain those behaviors, how we're going to get the dog to do those behaviors that we like, and what are we going to do and what methods are we going to use to encourage them to continue to do something that we like. If we see something, remember the click is we see it, we like it, we click, we reward it, and that's for something we like. So we're going to give you an example of both capturing and shaping today after we talk just a little bit about it, and we're going to show you what that means. So basically, when we talk about methods of training with capturing is like a snapshot. It's just a picture of something that you see that your dog does that you like, and so you see it and then you click and reward. Now your dog may not know at that time what you're rewarding them for, but we keep doing it, and if we keep up enough consistency every time we see it, the dog will slowly start to understand that click means something, and this is what I was doing when I got that click, so I get this yummy treat. So capturing is a longer method of being able to put a behavior on cue. Shaping, however, is what I primarily use in my training, because shaping has to do with so here we capture quiet. Rather than address noise, we capture quiet. When the dog is quiet, we click and treat. That's a capture. If the dog is panting like this, we just ignore and move around. As soon as he's quiet, we click and treat. That is a demonstration, a perfect demonstration of capture that we hadn't planned on using. We planned on using capture, and we're going to set up a scenario for you, but here is one in which we can use in a live setting. And this is what you as trainers are going to face. You're going to have a live setting, you're going to have a dog that's upset, that's moving around, that's not doing what you want, and you can use your methods of training to capture something that you like. Okay, so when we talk about capturing, we talked about capturing is a snapshot of a behavior that we like. So we know that we can use the clicker to mark a behavior that we like, and we can use a snapshot with capture of a behavior that we like, so that we can get some reinforcements and repetitions. So for instance, this is a real world example. Since we're doing some training and we're doing some instruction, our dog seems to be quite irritated because he's seeing me move around and he's seeing me with the clicker. I don't want to reinforce him moving around or making noise, but I can use the opportunity that as soon as he's quiet, I can click and treat that. Now my dog doesn't exactly know why I'm clicking and treating that. My dog just knows that he's getting a click and treat. But the truth is that a dog can't do more than one thing at a time. So if you keep them busy with this, then they can't do anything else. So, and then we stop and we ask him to down, shadow, down, and we reinforce that down by opening the kennel, down, and giving him a bunch of treats. The reason I didn't treat him through the bars is because I didn't want to reward him for getting up. I wanted to be able to give him the treats while he was down, because that's the thing I'm reinforcing, whether he understands exactly what I'm reinforcing or not. So that's a snapshot. That's capture in a snapshot. So we can use that. Capturing is a longer method. Down. Capturing is a longer method of getting a behavior on cue, but it is also rewarding because once the dog gets it, then you didn't have to do anything else to teach him. So that's one method of training. We use shaping mostly in our business. We use shaping because shaping helps us to use things like high criteria, low criteria. We can say the dog is getting it, but not quite, and so we can lower the criteria. So there's a lot of work we can do around shaping. The basis of shaping is that we set up a scenario. It's almost like a play, a screenplay. You have actors who have a scene that they have to do, a written scene, and so the props person sets up all the things that they need for that training, right? And so it encourages the actors and actresses to know exactly what they're doing. Shaping is basically the same thing. You set up a scenario, and then as the dog, you kind of guess the things that will give you an approximation or give the dog an approximation toward the criteria that you set up, high or low. So as the dog gets closer to the object, you click and treat. That's shaping, keeping them coming closer toward the object. Anything that you do to encourage them to interact with something that you're using, some prop that you're using, is basically shaping. And we'll give you we'll give you an example of capture. Another example, which was this one, was an example. This is I capture quiet. This is I capture calm. You see, so you take just a little breath away from that anxiety and capture what you want, click and treat it, and eventually you won't have to keep clicking and treating because they'll already know. So that's one way to do it. And now we're gonna give you an example of a shaping behavior. I've been trying to teach Shadow. I've been teaching Shadow how to walk backwards. And so I'm going to give you a little example of that, and that includes shaping. Shaping means first of all, I have my worksheets. This is what I write after my training. I do that because I use video to train. So write my shaping worksheet and have my shaping exercise packet. So I know what I'm going to train, so I set that up. In this case, it's going to be walk backwards, under the table, into a down. So we have a place for him to go, right, that he's familiar with going, and I'm going to shape him in his movement back and forth until he's doing exactly what I want him to do, and then I'm going to click and treat. I'm going to continue to reinforce him. You may see me have to click and treat him more or give him more encouragement because that's what shaping is about, being able to recognize when he needs help and more guidance, and being able to recognize when he doesn't need as much guidance. So this is the exercise we're going to do and set up for you right now. Here. Here. Easy. Here. Easy. So a couple of things to take a note. You need to change your pocket because I need to treat from this pocket. And you need to change your clicker side because I need to click from this side because I'm going to be working with him on this side. So we call it here. Here. Here you go. So I'll start here. I click for backwards movement. He's not thinking, so. Good boy. All done. All done. So there we go. So that's an example of shaping. Shaping is, I set up the rug here. I knew what I was going to do as far as the way I was going to walk forward, where I was going to put my hand, the way I was going to walk back, what I needed to use to get him into that position. So as you can see, there were times when he may have only taken 2 steps back, or there were times where he kind of slanted his body this way. But what I did is I randomly clicked so that when he was out of position, I could reward him for his approximation toward what I wanted. And that means I lower the criteria and just click for any movement back. So this is an example of shaping. Shaping, you have a lot of opportunity to correct anything that you don't like going on, to break it down into little parts is what you should do when you do shaping. You want to set it up in little small pieces until you get it perfected, and then you can call it something and put it on. So now I'm going to shape something where I call her to come to me. I'm going to send her around me and back to the bed. So I have the bed here and I'm here. So now I'm going to ask her. So the first part of that is going to be this. Bed. 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 Easy. 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 Bed. 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 Down. Bed. Down. Down. Bed. Down. That was my error. Stay. Bed. Down. Wait. One more. Bed. Down. Good girl. All done. Good girl. So you see how you can use your shaping and play down. There. Down. So you can use your shaping down. You can use your shaping to decide when you need to click, when you need to click more, when you need to just say, okay, she's doing close to it. So this is shaping and the flexibility of shaping, but it's always about having some props and using those tools to help get your approximations towards your high criteria behavior. And when I say high criteria, meaning that you don't have to chop it up in pieces to click, that you can just give her that behavior, show her that behavior, and she does it without any interruption. So that's Nadia's examples of capturing and shaping. And I hope you enjoy it. Bye.
Click for manners.
Bed. Yes. Good girl. Okay.